Hey guys, it's Emma at The Engineer Guy, and today we're going to talk about eyelashes. So, let's get started. We've already done Barbara's eyes and put a small coat of mascara on her lashes. I do definitely recommend doing a thin layer of mascara before doing lashes, just so that the natural lash is black and so that you don't have to put mascara on the actual lashes themselves. Fake lashes, rather. So, first we're going to pick some out. I have 3 different styles here. I don't know how well you guys can see them, but we have one that's super light and natural, one that's kind of medium, and then one that's pretty heavy and black. So, basically what you want to take into consideration when you're picking lashes for someone or for yourself is how much space do you have between your lash line and your brow bone. So if we look at Barbara's face, she has a fair amount of space between here and here. So longer lashes will still look okay on her. If someone has a shorter area right there, you definitely don't want to put lashes that are super long on them or anything that's going to be really dark and very thickly placed, I guess. Dense. And the reason being, when they have their eyes open, you don't want to just see a black wall of lashes. You want to still be able to see the eye makeup underneath through the lashes, and they should look more on the natural side depending on what kind of look you're going for. So, based on what we're doing today, I think I'm going to go with those kind of medium lashes. They're really similar to Barbara's natural lashes. They are not too dramatic, but they're nice and black. So, let's go with those. And these are the Kryolan eyelashes in TV2. Alright, so once we get them out of the package, what you want to do is kind of peel them off. What I like to do is I bend back the packaging. I always find it's better to be rough with the packaging and more gentle with the lash. So, if it will cooperate. All right. Once you have your lash peeled out of the packaging, I like to kind of warm up the lash band rather, just by kind of wiggling it back and forth in a U shape, just so it gets a little bit more flexible and more used to being in a curvy shape, because this isn't exactly the shape of Barbara's eye. So once you've kind of warmed up the lash band, what you want to do is have your model look down. And you'll kind of place the lash just along the lash line and then have them look at you. Or in this case, look at this camera. So obviously it looks kind of crazy because we haven't glued it down yet. But all we're doing is kind of seeing if we need to trim anything off the width of the band, because we don't want it to be hanging off the edge, which happens a lot. I see it a lot. And it makes the eye look droopy because it's hanging off the side this way. And we want to keep a perky, round shape for the eye. So, you also want to make sure it's not poking your client in the inner corner. Look at me. Okay, so I don't think I actually need to trim anything off, so we are good to go. Look up again. Yeah, perfect. If you were to trim anything, what you would want to do is always trim from the outside of the lash. I don't like to trim from this side because they are supposed to be getting shorter and shorter in that area of the lash. So I want to keep that gradient there and trim from here. Now what we're going to do is add some lash glue. This one is Eyelashes. It is latex free. It goes on this kind of interesting color. I guess it's kind of bluish. And you just brush it directly onto the lash. I like to get a pretty generous coating on there, especially on the very tips of the lash. And these lash glues do dry clear. So just get a really nice coating on there, and then what you'll do is let it dry for just a minute. I feel like that's the biggest step, is letting the glue kind of dry a little bit and get sort of tacky. Otherwise it'll be too liquidy when you put it on, and it's just going to slide around everywhere. Also, never, ever, ever use any kind of glue other than eyelash glue to do this. I've seen some terrible nightmares of people using glue for hair extensions on their eyelashes, and it's just absolutely insane, and you should never do that. So, big thing here is you don't want to have your model or client or whomever close their eyes while you're applying the lash. The reason for this is when their eyes are closed, it gets kind of wrinkly and textured, and you also run the risk of getting the glue stuck to their lower lashes, which isn't really harmful, it's just kind of a pain. So I like to avoid it. So I'm just going to have Barbara look down, and our glue has dried a little bit. And I like to place the middle of the lash and then stick down the corners. And sometimes I do like to use the help of a lash wand or something like that, just to kind of push the lash up against her natural lash line. Now look at me. So if you guys can kind of see the difference, no lashes and yes lashes. So look down again. And I am pretty particular, so I just kind of go back and keep pressing stuff into place, add a spot of glue if I see an area that needs it, and just kind of keep working on it until they're on and comfortable. Do they feel okay? Yeah. I'm going to add a little bit more glue, but as long as they're not like poking you or anything like that. there are lash tools that you can buy from some places that basically just kind of clamp onto the lash and you can put them in that way. Some people use tweezers. The lash tools are pretty cool. Tweezers scare me because they're sharp and they're next to somebody's eyeball, but everyone has, their own methods and preferences. And now we're going to wait for that glue to fully dry. The great thing about having this glue is that it is blue when it goes on and it dries clear, so you can see pretty well the progress of your lash. So now I'm going to have my model look down now that it's dry, and I'm just going to pinch her natural lash with the false lashes so that they kind of mix in with each other. And then take a clean mascara wand and just kind of very gently comb them together. Look at me. And there you have it. There is your false lash application.